How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to the House of Fata Morgana. Requiem for Innocence. So, yay! Things suck right now. Yeah, so we're pretty much at the point where everything's kind of coalesced. So, we saw what Morgana was up to from her perspective. She's been captured and taken by the beast, and now we're back to Jacopo after he's got his affairs in order, and now he's going to start the scam, essentially, that is going to help fund his efforts in providing for the kingdom. I don't know what else to say other than depression, hopelessness, and it all sucks. Because we even now know better. Jacopo's motivations and ideas were just, but his means are horrific. Gosh darn it. He really did become Baroner, didn't he? Anyway, let's jump into it. Good day, Lord Baroner. Not hungry. I need some time to rest, so don't bother me. Yes, sir. And make sure everyone knows they are to stay away from my room. By your command, my lord. Ugh. Why? Why was she the Lakeshide Witch? How could this happen? Gah! There must be something I can do. Some way to fix this. No, don't fool yourself, you dumb buffoon. There's no fixing that. Her arm's been cut off. Her mind broken. If only that Far Eastern dog hadn't been such a darn idiot. Then she might actually be in proper shape. Fetching... I'm the only one who gave the order. I'm the only one to blame for this is me. I can spend all gosh darn day regretting it, but there's no taking back what's already been done. Gosh darn it! What the heck am I supposed to do? What can I do? I could set her free. And a doctor, yeah, find a good doctor. Yeah! And there's no getting her arm back, but you could at least patch her up. This is all my fault, so I'd do right by her and look after her myself. Make sure she's taken care of for the rest of her life. Are you out of your mind, Jacopo? Why would she ever want to stay with you? Oh, dang it, I can't even stay focused. What's there to think about, boy? It's interesting. It's like he was under his own kind of personal curse here, because this is very much reminiscent of what Morgana eventually does. You already know what you must do. Get out of here, spirit. When will you learn your darned lesson and just stay dead, dang it? The last thing I need is a pathetic ghostly constantly sticking his nose in my business. Strong words from a man who can't even keep his head in the presence of the said pathetic ghost. Gah. The answer's plain as day, boy. You proceed exactly as planned. Make the witch's blood into a miracle elixir and distribute it at the church. You'll take in tithes as well as winning the people's favor for supporting their new beloved church. It's a fine scheme. I'm impressed you came up with it, boy. Silence. That was before I knew she was the witch. What does it matter? The girl's going to be dead soon regardless. Progress and growth, it always comes at a price. You need simply accept that price has already been paid. Tell me, is the girl worth throwing the entire venture aside? Knowing you'll lose all the goodwill you've made to gain from it and more? She's my... A child could tell you which has more value. You bear the weight of the entire land, boy. You don't try to cast that aside because you killed one little girl. She isn't dead. She's still... Surely you can't call that living. She's not... She is. And you killed her. I did not! There's no turning back. Why are you so upset about this, boy? Countless slaves have perished at your command. You had the slum rats who tried to bite you slaughtered. And only now are you concerned about another's life? Surely you do not cling to such naive sentimentality, are you? Oh, but she's different from those disposable sacks of flesh. She's dear to me. We have so many wonderful memories together. I love her. Enough. You've come too far to step down from the throne. No matter how much you may have cared for the girl before, it's out of the question now. You cannot have her. When a nobleman marries, it's for political purposes. Be it connections, resources, appearances, always something to gain. Taking a nameless peasant girl will make you a laughingstock of the land. So lock her up and drain her until there's nothing left. Shut your darn mouth, accursed spirit! You don't have any idea what you're talking about. You don't know the first thing about how I feel about her. The things we shared. Wait a minute. What's going on? How the heck do you know any of that? Took you long enough, boy. How did I not realize? You were never a kind of man. To speak of progress and growth, that I wasn't. What the heck? What are you? I've already told you. I am the curse known as the Lord of the Land. Or if you need to put me into simple terms for your simple mind, I am your sickness. You're out of your mind. I'm not sick. I'm not the one who's out of his mind, boy. This is a world of madness and disease, but not of spirits. The throne drives all who sit upon it to madness. Power or sanity, a man can only have one. All the faster for his grasp on the mind slips when he has no one at his side to shield him from his enemies. I am not Jean-Francois Berner, and there is no way for you to banish this spirit. Your mind is broken, on the verge of collapse. And there's nothing you can do to stop it! No. No. You're lying! My mind is not broken! I am perfectly sane! There's nothing to gain from madness in me! Tell me, Jacopo, is this the power you always sought? Is this what you spend day and night fighting to achieve? What? How are you? I thought you wanted power, in order to protect those you cared most about. But here you are, using that power to destroy their lives. Or is power the only thing you cared about protecting anymore? Shut up. Is that what I look like? Is that what I took up the blade all those years ago? Enough. You don't have any place to criticize me. You're just a stupid child with his head in the clouds, who thinks he can become some kind of hero. If you hadn't been so foolish, I wouldn't be in this place at all. You're right. We chose the wrong path. And there's no way for us to get back on the right one any longer. This wasn't what I'd wanted at all. The future I dreamt of, the outcome I'd hoped for. But who did I even have to explain that to? And who would even understand if I tried? There were walls as high as the eye could see on both sides of this path. Forward was the only way I could go. I'd killed my old friends, comrades, lost everything along the way, but still I had to march on, because that was all I could do. And now, power was the only thing that remained in my hands. So I would make a despot of myself, bury all my feelings for her, and continue my march straight into hell. I had no other choice. Oh yeah, I think that's the great lie. The great lie, this is the lie that permeates, I think it's one of the biggest flaws of humanity. I told you before, I grew up in a religious household, and I think I saw it there a lot, but I think it also permeates everybody, like not just religious, but religious is the most like prominent of this, where a lot of people who are in religion see it as a means of not just finding hope, but it's also a means of like finding, self-contentment, I think. It's about finding a purpose for life, both in what you do and what you say. And that purpose is fulfilling and it's engaging and something that makes you better, stronger, faster, and inspires you to be a more impressive person, to not like lean on your own weaknesses so much, but to try and seek improvement. And this is for all religions. I don't think I've seen a religion that truly doesn't pursue this in its purest sense, really. Now, religions can be used as vehicles of control and manipulation, but I'm talking for general people who are genuinely interested in finding a faith of some kind. Whether it's a organized one or not, that's typically what we're trying to find. We're trying to find purpose. We're trying to find like a foundation to build off of, a hope for a future, guideposts and like good advice and friends and support. Like it's just being able to not feel alone, right? But the problem is that oftentimes religion comes with standards of morality. Idea is that if you live by certain creeds and codes, that you will have a higher standard of life, that you'll find happiness and contentment. While I do think that morals, whilst maybe dubiously like supported by and enforced by religion, like I'm not the biggest fan of that per se. However, I do think we do have a natural tendency towards trying to find peace and security and like confidence and in structure around us, right? And religion's a great vehicle for that. But because often like morality is tied to religious observance, there is a tendency I've seen a lot, especially in younger people, which is where when you make mistakes, as you inevitably do, when you break these codes and vows and moral like kind of structures that you likely have been grown up and taught and told to believe in, and that you do believe in, usually in one form or another, otherwise this wouldn't be a problem. When you inevitably make the mistakes that come with youth, sometimes you feel like you're too far gone, that you can't go back, that you've gone too far, and there's no point in trying to correct anymore. And that's a big lie. It's a lie that we can tell ourselves because we're afraid and we are in pain and confused, and we feel like our worth is tied to perfection for some reason. I don't know if this is about all religions, but it's definitely one that's prevalent in Christianity, which is what I'm familiar with. That when you commit sin, you are like a tarnished person, that somehow you are flawed, and that there's a characteristic to that. A lot of this has to do with ties to like the story and mythology of Jesus Christ and like what he did and why he did what he did, like in his ministry for Christianity. And so like whilst it's fundamental to believe that all people are flawed, there's also kind of a tie that like when you make mistakes, you somehow like corrupted yourself, and sometimes you make mistakes that you feel are so grievous that you can't ever like make up for them. Now there are things I think that would qualify for that, such as like willful plotting murder and rape and things like that. Like there's decisions you make that destroy others' lives at for your own pleasure or fulfillment. Those are wrong. But the thing is, I don't think you need a moral code that's guided by religion to know that. And I don't know if those are something you can just kind of like recover from. But the majority of things like lying, manipulation, deception, using others, like these are things that are wrong, very wrong. And honestly, a lot of them come with punishments, and they should. Like I'm talking tangible punishments, like breaking the law kind of punishments. But I don't think there's ever really a point beyond like some of the noted exceptions where you're too far gone, where there isn't any hope for you to change. In fact, I think there's no person who's so far gone they can't change. They're just decisions that are so heinous that whether you change or not doesn't change the fact that like there needs to be recompense made for your actions. But the lie that we can tell ourselves is that I've gone this far, it doesn't matter anymore. And that's the trap. Jacopo could have potentially saved Morgana. Would she have forgiven him? I don't think so. Could she even have been like properly sane again or rehabilitated after this? Maybe not. She might have been too far gone at this point. But if he had actually stopped what he was doing here, would he lost everything? I doubt it. And yet he could have spared suffering for so many eventually. And even if it wasn't just for anybody but Morgana, that should have been worth it. But he lied to himself here, believing that he has no choice because he's gone too far and there's no point anymore. These are lies. These are problems and things that we should never tell ourselves. Like, no matter what's gone on in life, like there's never a point where you can't try and at least make amends. You can't go so far that you can't, at least by being willing to accept the consequences of what you've done and attempting to make restitution for it, that you can't at least improve and bring peace and joy to others. Like, there's no crime that is so heinous that you literally cannot be a human being anymore. Humans are flawed, and there are some crimes that you will never leave the shadow of, and that's the nature of those crimes. But you can still be a bigger person by admitting the crimes, helping people find and make peace for those you've hurt, and paying the price. And that's hard, and it sucks, and it's not a fun, pleasant thing to go through, but it's absolutely the path that's right. Jacopo should have done that. He really should have, and I hope we do. Like, I hope we are willing to admit mistakes and to accept the consequences of those mistakes, to be willing to, like, grow as individuals, not be locked by our own, like, flaws, and too terrified to admit fault doing. Anyway, you had a choice, Jacopo. You had a choice. Every day felt like a slog through a swamp with no end in sight. Though I did everything to keep up appearances when I wasn't alone, I masked any trace of my disorder beneath a veil of bottomless confidence. It's hard. I had reached a point where nearly everything I said or did in public was an act. A farce, even. Among the mistakes the Far Eastern dog had made when involving a third party, he was a young man, and there was a considerable possibility he was nobility, which meant I couldn't simply dispose of the boy until I had more information. Between that and his decision to cut off Morgana's arm, I was looking quite the fool for thinking I could tame a beast. Though of course, my biggest mistake was coming up with the scheme in the first place. Soon after locking Morgana up in the tower, I summoned the boy. Hey, Mel. How are you? Making it abundantly clear he was not to tell anyone what he knew, then sealing the deal by turning him into a co-conspirator. The boy was irritatingly timid, in part, I presume, because the dog had already threatened him. All it took to keep him nice and obedient was a stern glare and a few choice words. I hired the dog to be my bodyguard, and assigned the boy to an administrative supervising position in the new church grounds. Having been originally built as a second manor for the previous lord, the church was still more mansion than church, which meant there was an abundance of rooms for the boy to stay in. I then summoned the saintess there to serve as the face of the church. She was to remain on the grounds all day, and at night she would stay in a cottage at a safe distance from the church. I also informed her that I stored my money and valuables in the observation tower and that she would be charged with treason if she trespassed. She was a naturally trusting woman, and she seemed grateful for everything I was doing for her, so I doubt she would spill anything. Though even if she did, 3 keys were required to enter the tower. 1 held by me, 1 by the dog, and 1 by the boy. All three of us were in this until the witch died. I had one of my aides dig around for information on the noble boy. Mel was his name, and he claimed to be banished from his home, but I couldn't just take him at his word. I had to be absolutely sure, so that when the witch died, I could eliminate him. The dog too, of course. No one who knew anything could be allowed to live. That said, he seemed like he could put up a better fight than the boy, so I would have to be a little more careful in choosing how to take him out. I wasn't too worried, though. I was the Lord, after all. So long as that much didn't change, I could do just about anything. Gosh darn it. Once we started distributing the miracle elixir, the church's following grew far quicker than I had expected. Numerous reports of people being cured of disease spread throughout the city, and before long, even the healthy came seeking its powers. Every smiling face that walked out of the chapel put another black stain on my spirit. Her blood really was miraculous, and it was then I understood why the last Baroner had held all those banquets. He wasn't just torturing a little girl. He was feasting on miracles. And now the word was spreading that I knew the rumors were true. I had lost my final escape route. The plan failing entirely because her blood was just ordinary blood. Oh, but it was! That's what sucks, is it was! Forward was the only route that remained. One day, the Far Eastern dog said to me, "Everything is proceeding exactly as you said it would, Lord. I didn't believe in miracles, but seeing all this has tempted me to change my mind. You were right. One girl's life is indeed a worthy exchange." I wasn't sure how I responded, though by that point I largely just rattled off bitter and snark insults as reflexively in response to anything. So presumably I called the dog a dog, perhaps giving a laugh. Most nights I could no longer sleep without the aid of alcohol. I was pretty sure none of it was poisoned, but I spent a lot of time throwing it back up regardless. Baroner's cackling echoed in my chambers. The world twisted and contorted. Quite frankly, I was considering taking my own life. But I wouldn't let myself run away from what I had done. What I was doing to her. I had said I would continue my march straight down to hell, and that was exactly what I planned to do. Again and again I repeated to myself, I feel nothing for her. I never loved her. She is just another faceless peasant. I have no memories of my past life. Oh my gosh. So sad. The days turned to months, and soon spring was upon us. Here it is. They finally got shackles to put on me. Must have given them quite a scare when I tried to climb the wall. Isn't that funny? Look, I made a flower crown. Festival preparations seem to be going well. Hey, aren't you going to go? I'm not going anywhere. You're a strange one, and it's much nicer out there than it is in here. If anyone is to leave, it would not be me. Say, I've been wondering, who are you, anyway? I was created to carry your pain. That doesn't answer the question. I cannot give you another one, though. I carry your pain for you and offer you someone to talk to, so the last remaining flame of hope in your heart doesn't flicker out. How very honorable of you. You sound like a saint. I don't know how you could stand living like that. What? What's so funny? Nothing. Just, you don't remember anything, do you? Don't consider my work to be saintly, but if you perceive it that way, then that's thanks to you. Because that's who you were, Morgana. You're not making any sense. That's fine, my dear. Knowing what I carry in my spirit would only cause you pain. So I just beg you to live on, and not give up hope. Where am I supposed to find hope chained up in a tower? You've been with me long enough. You've seen me here. My body is on the verge of death, and a black cloud fills my spirit. I despise those men, every one of them who did this to me. I want to kill them myself, and I hate that I lack the power to do so. I want to place a curse on them all. Don't talk like that, Morgana. Please keep your spirit pure. Don't talk about cursing people. There's still hope. Someone will come to save you. Maybe one of the 3 will have a change of heart. Or maybe someone else will come through the door. Just have a little patience, all right? There's no point. Even if someone does come, I have nowhere to return to. I have nowhere. That's not true. Remember all those years ago when the Lord had you chained up? Someone came and set you free then. And someone will. No one's coming. That was a miracle. A one-time miracle. The flaxen-haired boy, he lied to me. This world is nothing but betrayal. No one is going to set me free anymore. Actually, there is one possibility for my salvation. Perfect. Then we'll wait for them to come. Yes, let's wait for an angel to come. What? An angel to come and set me free. Morgana, deliver divine punishment upon the sinners who would defile me. Morning, Maria. You're here bright and early. Hey, Yeah, not like I got much else on my plate. Well, aren't you quite the workaholic? You know, you're getting to be about the age where most girls would close up shop and settle down with a man or three. Hey, you know no man wants to get hitched with this kind of bee. Fair enough. Most girls this biz are rough around the edges, but you're rough all the way through. Like how you got all up in the client's face the other day? Now that was a sight to see. But anyway, the blacksmith brought this by for you. Huh? Oh, that. I was planning to go pick that up myself. Especially thanks for such a faithful patron, he said. Never met another prostitute of regulars at the smithy. That's one heck of a hobby. Maybe so, but it's the only hobby I have. Not gonna lie, that is a little scary. What kind of girl collects knives? What kind of girl doesn't like something nice and shiny? There's nothing more to it, right? It's just a collection, not for you to, use or anything? Like I said, they're shiny. And when have I ever drawn on a knife on any of you? Never, right? Oh, no. Use them on. No, not to use on us. The thought never even crossed my mind. I know how much you care about us girls. I just mean, you're not planning to do anything, dangerous. Oh, no. Hells no. You're way overthinking it. If you say so. This looked like this was kind of made for a special occasion or something. You even had your name engraved on it. What's so strange about that? Collectors get their names engraved on stuff all the time. I once had an ex-mercenary for a client. He told me people engrave names on weapons for all sorts of reasons. The name of someone you love to help strengthen your resolve. Your own name is a symbol of your honor. Is this for... How much honor does a dirty old whore like me even have? Like I said, it's just my hobby. I like shiny things. That's all there is to it. Now hand it over. Promise me you won't do anything dangerous with it? Pinky swear. Thanks. Oh boy. Sorry, friend. It had to have been 4 years since the raid on the brothel, and they were still just barely getting back on their feet. It would never be the same as before, though. Not because we had to move locations, but because the slums are shrinking away to almost nothing thanks to the Lord's renovations. Not to mention all the new foreign women who sold their services up in the city's bustling marketplace. Most of our old regulars had taken business there, and we weren't drawing much in the way of new blood either. With better options to get their rocks off, the only real oddballs went to the rundown whorehouse and a little back alley in the slums. It was enough to keep us afloat, but we'd hardly last another 6 months. A year if we were really lucky. And while we were down here fighting to make it day to day, our ever-gracious Lord was planning a festival to celebrate the spring harvest. Celebrations were to take place in and around the new church set up across the river, and with this being the first annual harvest festival, the whole city was in a rather jolly mood. Everyone except us slum rats, of course. The merchants, the upper class, and even the regular citizens were in love with the Lord. Public opinion took a huge turn after the new church had opened its doors. I presumed it was all part of his grand plan. Me, on the other hand, I was far from pleased. He had abandoned us in the slums, left all of his old friends out to dry because he wanted a little extra gold. And like heck, I was going to let it stand for that. Word through the grapevine was the Lord and his bodyguard spent a lot of time at the new church. A nun everyone called the Saintess worked there, handing out some kind of miracle elixir. I assumed it was her that he had business with. But his business didn't matter so much as the fact that he was there. There was no way I was getting through this fortification around his manor on the hill. But the church wouldn't be nearly as well protected. Last night I snuck onto the grounds to survey the area. There was no sign of any guard or people at all. So it wouldn't likely be difficult for me to slip into the building and hide there until he showed up. Tonight I brought everything. I was going all in. These past 4 years, my feelings for him had been, well, mixed, to put it lightly. I knew damn well he wasn't the same man I grew up with. But part of me deep down wanted to believe that man was still there. That maybe he had a reason, and I just wasn't seeing it. That I was misinterpreting him somehow. But if I was right, and that old Jacopo is gone, I would settle it once and for all tonight. It's quiet in there. Doors locked tight. Figures. Now, with that out of the way, how do I want to get in? Could break a window. I'd rather not make that much noise, though. Hey, Mel. Now, who do we have here? He's heading for the mansion. Maybe he's got a key. I was gonna bail if I ran across anyone, but that might not be necessary. How much longer am I gonna have to deal with this? And I can't believe he's holding a festival. He's gotta be out of his mind. I'm too tired to worry about this tonight. Huh! Don't move. Huh? What? Oh, and no squealing either. One peep and this little baby will carve you a brand new knife. Mouth. Who are you a thief? I don't want your crap. I just want you to answer a couple questions. If you can do that for me, you get to keep your throat in one piece. What do you want from me? What are you doing here? The Lord comes by here pretty often, right? I want to have a little chat with him. What? Are you out of your mind? I can't let you see the Lord. Oh, alright. Nighty-night then. Wait! I'm not effing around. I don't care who you are. If you're gonna cover for him, then say your prayers and curse your bad luck. What's it gonna be, little man? Don't hurt me, please. Where's the Lord? He's not here. Well, it was nice knowing you. Slow down, he's not here now! But he'll be here at dawn. Is that so? I'm not comfortable saying any more out here. Someone might see us. It'll be safer if we go to my room. We can talk more there. And how do I know you're not going to split the second I let go? I swear. I don't know you either, but if you're here just to talk to the Lord, are you? I'm doing what he says, but not because I agree with him. So if anything, I'm on your side. You're better at sucking dick than most of the prostitutes I know. I mean it. At the very least, we can't have a productive conversation if we're both on edge like this. Huh? You got a decent head on your shoulders for someone who was within seconds of losing it. All right, you convinced me. Lead the way, little man. But if you so much as breathe suspiciously, your head will roll. I get it. On your feet. Glad I ran to someone without a spine. I'd definitely have trouble sleeping after this if I tried to kill a complete stranger. Oh man, I have a feeling she's not going to survive though. Because remember, Mel did this exact same thing with Michelle. And the first time it didn't go so well. Well, nice looking room you got for yourself, little man. So, the Lord's gonna be here bright and early, you say? But why? Well, daytime I'd understand if you were here to play friendly with all his followers. But no one's gonna be here at butt crack of dawn. They're not his followers. They're patrons of the church, of the true believers of the Word of God. Can't say I'm convinced. Looks more like he's built himself a darn cult. Now, my question. The Lord has important business to attend to in the mornings. I'm not stupid. I'm asking what his business is. I can't tell you that. Only that he'll be here early in the morning. You think I'm just gonna take you at your word? Oh, I can't tell you why, but I promise he'll be here. It's really, really important, so I just wait here till morning. So I'll sit on my thumbs, morning rolls around, and whoosh, I'm never seen again. That sound about right? No! Then answer my question. What's he got to be doing here so early? He's coming to check on some valuable assets. Say again? I help manage his assets. But not because I want to. He's threatening me. And what are these assets? It's, spit it out. I can't. I really can't. Anything but that. What if I say I'll kill you if you don't? Go right ahead. Threaten me all you want. It's the only thing I can never tell anyone. 'Cause they'll make you disappear if you spill? It's not my safety I care about. It's my sister. They'll kill my sister if I tell anyone. So I can't say anything. You have a sister. She's my only family. I see. So the Lord's blackmailing you to help manage his assets. And as a part of that, he'll also hold your sister hostage? Not directly, but essentially, yes. That's sick, rotten F. I don't have family myself, but a few years back there was this girl that was like a sister to me. What? Oh. And he kind of felt the same way about her, or at least I thought. But now he's fallen so far he's taken some kid's sister hostage. Maybe I'm reading into things, but do you actually know the Lord? I did. Like a former mistress or something? Oh, hell no. We grew up together, believe it or not. What? So you used to be noble? No, you dingus. I didn't think so. You don't seem particularly dignified. Yep, just dirty old whore here. Sorry to disappoint. Whoa, I never said that. Anyway, that's all you need to know about me and the Lord. Alright. Now what about you? You known him for long? About 6 months, maybe? So no, but you've been in regular contact with him that whole time? Tell me, what's he like these days? And don't worry, the knife's taking a nap. Just tell me whatever you can. I'm curious. I don't know much, but alright. The only times I really see the Lord is when we meet up to check up on his assets. We don't chat or anything like that. He always seems to be in a foul mood, and he gives me dirty looks whenever he sees me. Even though you're working together? Like I said, I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm just wound up in this position. Go on. I can tell you this, though. He's a monster. He's a cruel, evil, heartless man. No one with a conscience could ever do the things he doesn't care about how much pain he causes. To anyone who doesn't fall in line with it, who doesn't fall in line is eliminated. His reputation's improving because he's got the saints vouching for him. But it's all a load of crap. He's a villain and a tyrant. Sounds like the previous Lord. Huh? Previous Lord? You're not from around here, little man? No, I lived somewhere far away and just sort of ended up here recently. Well, that explains it. There was a different guy on the throne up until 4 years ago. He was a vicious, barbaric elf who treated people like playthings. He would murder slaves by the dozen just for craps. And he did some very bad things to a little girl. This new lord is exactly the same. People are just another commodity to him. Man or woman or child, he doesn't care as long as they're useful. He'll hurt people. He'll kill them. Anything to get what he wants. I got that impression. After everything I've seen and heard, I was honestly hoping he'd tell me he wasn't as bad as the previous lord. I've had enough. He's gone over the edge. There's no bringing him back. I was originally planning to talk to him, but that was never going to work. He's a lost cause. So, what are you going to do? I'm going to make sure he can't shame himself any more than he has, by putting an end to his miserable life. You want to see the Lord gone too, don't you? Get out of this crappy hole he's thrown you in? 'Cause if you do, then stick your neck out and give me a hand. You know what'll happen if you keep on like this. Once your job's done, and once he's done with you, you're gone. You're not stupid enough to think he'd let you live, are you? What'll it be? You gonna go on being his obedient little bee? Or are you gonna give him what's coming? Alright. I'll help. Excellent. Your tailor must be darn skilled to accommodate balls that big. Haha. Honestly, I've been waiting 6 months for this. For someone to show up and give me a way out. Oh boy, oh boy. While waiting for the sun to rise, me and the little man hashed out a plan of attack. The Lord kept a skilled bodyguard around him almost all times, so we wanted to avoid causing any trouble when they were together. He was only alone for a small window of time. When he arrived at the church early in the morning, he would first head to his private study unguarded. That was our chance. Time was limited, which meant we'd make a simple move quickly. We had an element of surprise on our side, though. I could do this. No, there was no room for even the slightest uncertainty. I would do this. I didn't care about saving people from an oppressive despot or anything grand and honorable like that. All I wanted was to stop an old friend from falling any farther. That was my entire reason for assassinating the Lord of the Land. I wouldn't be a hero if I pulled it off. I'd be an insurgent. But to hell with my reputation. I'd be hunted down and killed for my crimes not long after anyway. Jacopo, as your old friend, I'll join you on your trip to hell. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stop here. The assassination attempt, the festival, and everything crashes down. I don't know if there's more that's gonna be covered in this story. Like, are we gonna see Morgana, like, elevate herself to the cursed witch, and are we gonna see, like, what Morgana saw through the passage of time through the mansion or not? I just don't know. Because if not, we might actually almost be done with this already. I have no idea. We'll find out next week. So, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel as always. It's all coming together. All the lines are coming to that point, that focal point, the point where everything matters, where everything hinged, and where everyone dies. So, yeah, let's jump into this and see how it happens next time. Thank you guys again for being here. Thank you so much to the patrons who have been like supporting the channel directly so much. You guys are amazing. If you hadn't seen the posting yet, we have the poll up for patrons only to select what the next Friday series is going to be. It's only going to be up for a limited amount of time though, since I'm going to plan to record this really soon. So please make sure if you are a patron and you're hearing this and it's like around the time it came out, go to the Discord, go to your go to the patron page itself. There's going to be a link there to the poll. Make sure to make your voice heard, just so I can, you know, see what you think is the most interesting along those lines. This is what we always will do for Friday slots. I picked out games that have been like recommended and given to me by various developers and publishers and these titles are also ones that are like not so much mainstream. Some of them might be more prominent than others, but ultimately nothing super grandiose or anything like that. But it's important for us to make time and share content that's made by people who might not be getting as much attention as they might deserve. So it's a great time for us to participate in that. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for everyone else who's just watching and enjoying this series with me. Hopefully you stick around for the finale, whenever that is, either next week or in the next 6 weeks. I don't really know, but we'll get there when we get there. Thank you so much. And until next video, watching me up. See me next. I'll see you there.